I'm Eric Schumacher Rasmussen, editor of Streaming Media Magazine, and I'm speaking with David Stubenvoll, the CEO and co-founder of Wowza Media Systems. How are you, David?
Great, Eric. How are you today?
Doing well. We're talking about the executive predictions piece you wrote for the January-February issue of Streaming Media Magazine. And you took a different angle than almost anybody else and focused on, which is good, and focused on what you see happening in the realm of citizen journalism, particularly as it might revolve and evolve around the Olympics happening in Rio. What do you see happening?
Yeah, so we always think a little differently here at Wowza, and it's really a reflection of what we're starting to see with folks like Periscope and Meerkat and lots of other folks that have gotten the Wowza Go Coder product and have gotten into our white label program and have been clamoring for an SDK. We're seeing this real push for mobile journalism, mobile applications, mobile encoding, and being driven into a real business purpose, as well as the citizen journalism and kind of the next generation of user-generated video.
How do you see Rio 2016 playing into that?
Yeah, that's amazing when you think about it, because you've got all these crazy kids that are athletes and all these normal human beings that are coming to show up at Rio and participate. And that we believe that drive to participate, to share in the experience, is just going to hit at the right time. And it seems very exciting.
Right, and it's really not an either-or proposition, is it? I mean, obviously the big broadcasters and their broadcasts of the games, whether on traditional television, cable, or OTT, are still going to be massive, but there's going to be all of this additional content around it that's going to feed into that, and they're going to feed off each other, right?
Oh, absolutely. And the notion of exclusive rights takes on an entirely new meaning.
Right. Right. Talk about that a little more. How do you think that is going to play out? The notion of exclusive rights falling apart.
Yeah. I wish I could tell you how it's going to play out. I have no idea. But the concept is, if you think you paid your money to go in and watch something.
Right.
And typically, as you go to any concert, we've seen this for years and years. No cameras at the concerts, no recordings, and all that sort of stuff. And what we've seen in the past with music recordings is you've had some bands, right? Fish, Grateful Dead, Dave Matthews, all those guys. Please come and record. We'll plug you into our board, and they've gotten big that way. And so, while some people will see it as a threat, other people will see it as an opportunity. Lawyers will get rich somewhere in the middle for a whole bunch of these things, and we'll see how it plays out. Even looking at music, it's not the same everywhere.
Right.
Different bands have very different policies and treat these things very differently, from open arms to a clenched fist.
Right, right. And obviously with the Merriweather-Pacquiao fight in 2015, we saw how HBO responded to that, and the other rights holders responded to people periscoping that. But just this past weekend, Bruce Springsteen kicked off a tour in Pittsburgh, and I was able to see bits and pieces of almost every song on Periscope. He's not officially endorsing it, but neither is he, because you can't. It's gotten to the point where you can no longer go through the crowd and just grab the camera here and the camera there, because everybody's got a camera right here in their hand.
Absolutely true. I mean, it is everyone, exactly as you said.
Right. Now, for those who want to, if you're talking going beyond the amateurs, you talked earlier about people who are using Periscope and Meerkat, for instance, and want to use something like the Wowza Go Coder. How does a company like Wowza fit into this revolution?
So we provide all of the technology. We've got, we provide the encoder, and of course, Wowza Streaming Engine and Wowza Streaming Cloud, and then we can play out in a variety of ways. So for a while, we've offered Wowza Go Coder as an app in the iTunes Store and Play Store, and then recently began offering a white label version. So if you wanted to take Go Coder and turn it into your own, you can work with us and we'll make that happen. And that was just along the path of people saying, wow, I want this capability built into my broader application. So while Periscope is a Wowza customer, they did not use our GoCoder SDK.
Okay.
Just to be clear, they could. Right now that we have the SDK, they could have used that to build out the rest of their application.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a number of really interesting things in the works that it was kind of funny. You hear about some of these things. There's a couple I wish I could talk about.
Sure.
But there's some of them you think, oh my God, I never ever think about that. And some are, that's so cool, and the other is, that's so weird.
Right.
Huge for all I know.
Yeah.
And everything in between. And it really goes from the true kind of consumer user generated model to things that are kind of closer to Uber, where you're expecting people to do certain things and all that sort of stuff. So it's very cool. It's a lot of room for innovation, and it's great from our standpoint to be involved and to be powering it not only from the server side but also from the mobile side as well.
Sure. Anything else we can look forward to from Wowza in 2016 that you can talk about?
We certainly have a lot going on with Wowza Cloud. I mean, we continue to advance on Wowza Cloud and to really push that. We have been in, the end of last year, we released our REST API for Wowza Streaming Engine finally, and we've been in private preview on the REST API for Cloud as well. That's going to be, I think, very, very interesting for folks. And we're pushing on a number of areas, and we'll see a lot of announcements through you guys, certainly, in the months to come.
All right, great to hear. It's been good talking to you. Thanks for looking in your crystal ball a little bit as to what we can perhaps look forward to the rest of the year.